Man, I am glad this year is finally over. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Part deux of Spilling COVFEFE this morning. This is the last broadcast of the year for Spilling COVFEFE. I may, in fact, broadcast more later. We will be doing a Friday night movie, even though it's New Year's Eve. Most of us are just staying home. I cooked a turkey last night. And, oh, by the way, let me just check as everybody can. There's in the background here. That is a sundog. That is what happens when the sun is shooting through some snow particles at 25,000 feet or whatever it is up in the chronosphere, where coronavirus comes from. The Dr. Fauci created it with a weather balloon, and it drops from the UFOs. If you're watching and you're part of the YouTube retaliation team, that's not true. That's satire. Just so you know, you don't have to cut off my channel. Aloha kakahaika. Kakahaika? I'm probably not saying that correctly. Happy New Year's Eve to everyone. We'll be doing the movie tonight. The movie tonight might be about looking up at the skies. It's called Don't Look Up. I think we'll watch that tonight. And I've heard both ends of the spectrum. I've heard it's a terrible, terrible movie, and I've heard it's a really good movie. You got to watch it. I don't know. So maybe we'll watch that one tonight. If you got yourselves the Netflix, you're welcome to join us. Hi, Joshua. Good to see you up in Ontario. Up in Ontario, they are locking down. And they're also limiting who can take a PCR test because of a shortage of supplies. Now, Canada apparently has an abundance of rapid tests. You live in Saskatchewan, you want a rapid test, they just send you 8. Go ahead, just take them all. But they're really limiting who can get the PCR test. Speaking of limiting of the PCR test, just for fun, because I might be traveling next week and seeing Rusty the dog. If things fall into place, there's a voiceover that I might be cast for or whatever, and producer JoJo's going to be gone, so I might do some traveling in this kind of weather. This kind of. Okay, no one can see my hands. So I thought maybe I'll just get myself a COVID test today, tomorrow, just to be on the safe side. I have rapid tests. I thought maybe I'll just go get a nasal swab from a real place, a Rite Aid or Walgreens. The company I use mostly around here, Curative, which is usually I can get on there. And, appointments available at, what time is it now? 7:41? Appointments available at 8 o'clock, between 8 and 8:30. And then you get the code, you get your QR code, and you go in any time. And you just walk up, and it's a food truck, and it's in a parking lot somewhere, and they just go, oh, yeah, here, put it. And before 2 weeks ago, I'd never waited. Last week, some wait. This week, no appointments. The closest appointment was way out in Riverside, which is about an hour from here. So things are changing, and we are rapidly accelerating in this country. Just assume that you have it, and stay home. What do we got going on in the chat room? Hi, Marcy. Hi, at Random. Hi, Cooj. Steph, Deidre, Josh. I may have covered everybody up there. Liberty. This is from Babe. I don't know if Babe's in the chat room or not. She's up in the Saskatchewan. Speaking of chewing, made myself some turkey last night. Didn't actually eat it because it wasn't done until very late in the night. So now I've got turkey pretty much for the entire year. At Random Master, are you having a dinner party or something? I was like, no, are you crazy? People? No, thank you. No dinner party. I just had a turkey from Thanksgiving. You know, the Thanksgiving that was canceled because of Biden, and you couldn't get anything? Well, I had a turkey. And that turkey was $8. And I'll tell you what, it turned out okay. It's the best goddamn $8 turkey in history. I got a lot of food, put veggies on the bottom. Those got roasted as well. Got a lot of veggie soup. Kept the turkey carcass. So, you know what? I have a picture of it. Not of the turkey carcass. I do have a picture of the turkey carcass. Here, let me see if I can share that with you guys. There is something from the Microsoft where you can just set it up with your PC and your phone, so it just goes. You can just go boop, and then there it is. I'm not sure how that works, and I've never set it up, so I should do that rather than just messing around with the emails all the time. Let me send it your way, folks, so I can. Let's see. We'll just add the picture there, and you guys can see that. If you got something to say, if you get a New Year's resolution, what are you doing for New Year's? What are your plans? I'm assuming everyone's staying home. We air fried our turkey. Wait, do you have an air fryer that big, Deidre? But air frying would be a wonderful way to do it. But you can't put a turkey in an air fryer unless you've got a giant air fryer. How do you do that, Dieter? Let me see if I can send myself a turkey jerky. I don't even know how to do it. Oh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Hold, please. This is a wonderful idea. New oven has the option. Oh, you have an oven that is also an air fryer, like a regular oven? Holy crap, those exist? That's what I want. Now I know my New Year's resolution. I need to get an oven with an air fryer. For the one time in my life, I cook an entire turkey. Now that I know that it's not that hard. I'm also, in the new year, I'm going to be experimenting with microwaving turkeys, because I know it can be done. And in my theory, in my world, you put a turkey in a microwave, and you put the turkey in a turkey bag in the microwave, that's going to keep all the juices in there. That's going to be super juicy. Like, that's going to be the best way to cook a turkey. That's in my mind. I also burned giblets and broke JoJo's bowl last night. So, a lot of things happen in my mind that aren't necessarily connected to reality in any basis whatsoever. Chris's wife. Hi, Chris Wilson. Stephanie's here as well. She was one of the first ones. I don't know what happened with the first broadcast we attempted. I started it, and it just died. And then, I was, at the same time, it was circling, trying to find me a COVID test, etc. Everything just crashed, and now we're back. And we're getting pretty good throughput. So, I don't know. Hold on, I'm going to pull this up. How do I even do this, though? I don't think I actually have WhatsApp installed on this computer. But you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just install it on the computer. There's no agenda. But let's do this. Let's find out what we're supposed to be outraged by this morning. And that way, you guys can watch something while I mess around with finding you pictures, etc. Let's find out what's going on with the Fox and Friends. Okay, New Zealand. Oh yeah, so New Zealand. Here we go. Here's no Katy Perry. Let me silence the volume. Here, guys. Here's some fireworks from New Zealand. Complete silence for everyone. Oh, that's nice. In Seattle, New Year's Eve is sponsored at the Needle. New Year's at the Needle, the Space Needle. It's sponsored by T-Mobile, and unfortunately, they light up the magenta that T-Mobile uses and the blue. That's the whole show. It's just blue, magenta, blue. You know, here we are complaining about free fireworks show, but they light up the Space Needle. It's just that all the time. It's like, let's see some other. Look at all these colors. Look at all these neat colors. Look at that. That's almost T-Mobile as well. Is it sponsored by T-Mobile there? No, there's some green. Okay. Yeah. Dieter Stowe finally quit after 21 years, so that's cool. They got themselves a stove that was... Well, it didn't quit. It just got drunk. And it turns out it's an alcoholic. Okay, so let's see what our friends over there are saying. I'm going to load up WhatsApp.
Sense of normalcy, albeit not quite where we were 2 years prior to today.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Kaylee. I would say that I'm optimistic because I think the American people are kind of just tired of it all and are trying to get to some sort of normalcy. And I think they're going to reject a lot of this nonsense going into the new year. So I'm optimistic. I think this is going to be a great year for the country.
Yeah, okay, no doubt about it. Well, we have a lot of news to get to today.
This is going to be a great year for the country under President Biden.
And we begin with this Fox News alert.
This is scary. Yeah, I knew that was going to be the lead story here. Colorado has a forest fire, a brush fire. It's not even really a forest, but Colorado's on fire. We'll watch the news right here. But 600 buildings, shopping malls, etc., have already been burned down. People have been evacuated.
Fast-moving wildfire forced tens of thousands of Colorado residents to evacuate their homes. Alicia Acuna joins us live on the phone in Louisville, Colorado, with the latest on the Marshall Fire. Alicia?
Good morning, Kaylee, Joey, and Lawrence. Just so you have a scene setter here, I'm actually driving in my car. We've been moved a couple of times by law enforcement for our own safety. We are in the communities of Louisville and Superior. These are neighboring suburban neighborhoods. We're about 25 miles west of Denver. Just to set the scene here, right now, firefighters, we are told, are continuing to beat down the flames of this fire that came through this area with such rabid ferocity. It really was something to behold. I can tell you that at 11 a.m. yesterday, there was a fire that was sparked in the Boulder area. It was picked up so fast by the fast-moving wind here, going from gusts from between 40 and 110 miles per hour. According to authorities here on scene, there was no chance for firefighters to even attempt to attack the fire. They were busy trying to run as fast as they could to get people out of the way. There were people inside of a Costco. Again, this is the suburbs. People inside of a Costco were evacuated, and they were inside of what felt like a total normal Costco. They walk out the doors into completely smoke-filled, very windy, dangerous air, and just trying to get out. That was just one example here. I can tell you 580 homes at least have been destroyed. That's according to all local authorities on the ground here. There was one woman we spoke to. You can take a listen to what she had to say about just trying to get out. Take a listen.
This is the first time I've really been involved in anything like.
So scary stuff. No, it's they don't suspect arson. They expect a electricity wire. In fact, I think they figured it out by now. I don't know. Let's go past that and let's see. Okay, so now let's get right to the criticism, Biden. So stay safe out there, folks, which is kind of every night. What's everybody doing for New Year's? Let's check in on the chat room after I show you guys this, huh? Look at that. That right there, that's a turkey, kids. I made that. And I can't lie. Producer Jojo chopped up those veggies. It was like 3 hours in the oven. Now, what happened was I had a thermometer inside there. You can see the thermometer coming in right here. This thermometer, the meat thermometer, then goes outside, attaches to a little box that sticks to the top of the oven, and then that talks to my phone and tells me how hot it is inside. Unfortunately, this wire wasn't into the deepest part of the turkey. The turkey cooked very nicely up at the top, and then it didn't quite get done underneath. It's a 15-pound bird. So I had to stick it back in for about another hour. And then it was lovely. At the beginning, it was very juicy, but unfortunately, the top, I think, dried out just a little bit. It wasn't as juicy as I want it to be after leaving it. Now, that being said, the dark meat was delish. Just filled with juices when I cut the whole thing up and put it away. The white meat, the breast meat, Nurse Jojo eats that, so what do I care? But it's actually delicious, and it's going to be absolutely fun. It was not, oh, God, oh, that's so dry. No, it was just not as juicy moist as I wanted it to be. Not as savory as I wanted it to be. You can see the inside here is filled up with the slices, lemon wedges, onion wedges, and also some, that's not thyme. What is that? That's rosemary up in there. So good times. And it was an $8 turkey. So there's, in terms of poultry, in terms of meat in general, turkey's about as healthy as you can get. So if you see that turkey on clearance from the Christmas stuff, check it out. Thermometer's supposed to be in the deepest part of the thigh. Yeah, it said breast or thigh, so I put it into the deepest part of the breast. Look at this. All sorts of turkey hints here. Hold on, guys. Let me see what you're chatting here. Okay, usually, Sean. That's why you put it on a rack. You don't have to put it on a rack. You put it on the veggies. That's what they said in the video. But yeah, next time I'm getting a rack. That's an excellent suggestion. That's why sent you a DM with a picture of our turkey. I'm going to take a look at that, Deidre, in a second here. Let's see. That's what the gravy and cranberry sauce is for. Yeah, Jojo did make cranberry sauce. We may make gravy. What I did is I saved all the soup and entrails down at the bottom here. There's no entrails. All the veggies and whatnot, and then it worked out. And let's see if I can show you guys. Let's get rid of this. One moment, please. Let's see if I can help you folks out. Otherwise, I can't back out of that picture. Hold on. And I can't show you anything else. So anyway, there you go. Enjoy. But I can WhatsApp things to myself. Let's go to the DMs here. Here's the thing, Deidre. I have no access to Kevin Lee Father on Twitter. I've been cut off and I've been suspended because I don't understand how commas work. We'll talk about that another time. My New Year's resolution is just to get all my social media stuff taken care of and to broadcast more frequently and also to get back into shape. It's going to be hard until my foot's all done and to be generally awesome. Also, I got to fix the brakes on my daughter's car. This place has another showing. Here we are with just record COVID numbers. Everyone's got it. And people are still going out and looking at houses. Stop it! So during the people looking at this house, I got to get the house cleaned up, and then people are going to look at this house, and then I'm going to go look at another house. So stop it, people, except me. That's fine, because I'm good. I don't have it. Stephanie says Marshy's has never had a rack. Okay, so no, but what you can do is you can send it to me at Donbald Trump. Let's see, what's my actual Twitter? What am I even called? Yeah, here, right here. Here's us. Let's go to a time loop here. So right here, if you look, you can follow me and send me something. Deidre, right here, at Donbald_Trump. And we've been broadcasting for 17 minutes, it says. And that is correct. Okay, so go ahead and send it to me there, Deidre, and I will try and put it up. But I can't get into... Hi, where are we? Where's everybody? Bye. Happy New Year. There we go. Let's go back to Fox and Friends and see what's going on.
All right, on to this. Omicron has taken the spotlight this New Year's Eve as caseloads nationwide are surpassing, get this, January 2021 levels. Now, we know Omicron is more mild. However, the caseload is...
We're still hoping on that, but it generally looks that way, yes. That being said, because of... You can be more mild. By the way, the original disease and Delta, not mild. What is all this mild talk? You still get sick. And most of the people I know who have it right now, they don't consider it mild. It sucks. Mild compared to death, yes.
Particularly high. Meanwhile, President Biden was...
When it's more contagious. If you get 5 cases and it's a serious disease and one person ends up in the hospital, that's pretty bad. When you get 100 cases, in this case it would be about 60 cases, you're going to end up with 20 people in the hospital. That's more people in the hospital. See, that's the problem, is the 3 states are full. We're done. We got no more room in the hospital. Our friend Lindsay, the nurse, she's on her way to Michigan to help out there. Michigan is out of hospital space.
What's he doing? He's spending the holiday at his beach house. It's his 31st trip there. Mm-hmm. But
Trump had literally golfed 99 times by the end of his first year.
Administration is urging the Supreme Court to keep his vaccine mandate on private companies, the same one, by the way, that...
There he is. He's playing with a dog. That's a president right there. Playing with Commander, the new dog. That's the new German Shepherd.
Is helping cause the worker shortage, but that aside, members of Congress, meanwhile, are saying it's time to block...
Oh, that's a good boy right there. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy checking things out. Making sure everything's okay on the beach for the people. Look at that. Right there. Let's just watch the dog.
The vaccine mandate. I would happen to agree with them, Lawrence and Joey Jones. It's pretty remarkable the way that this president has abused his authority. He used OSHA, a very little used regulation, to seize on emergency power in a way that's never...
Well, it's an emergency. See, we don't have a lot of OSHA emergencies right now, but we do have a disease that's killed hundreds of thousands of workers, and it's OSHA's job to keep the workplace safe. So yeah, now we're gone from the dog, so we'll bring me back. Sorry. So yeah, this is a little used power from OSHA, and they do have this power. We'll find out what the Supreme Court says. They may not.
Been done to create...
It is Kaylee's voice, yeah.
This onerous vaccine mandate on the American people.
Onerous? By the way, if it's a private vaccine mandate, just get tested. Just go get a test once a week, or just do a rapid test at work. It's not that onerous. I mean, if sticking a Q-tip up your nose and counting to 15 is really that onerous for you, relax, snowflake.
You know, I was looking into a National Review article on the likelihood of the Supreme Court upholding this, and just
That's why I was gonna like go into live news today, find some European news or something to watch, and ending up the year, because you're gonna see New Year's celebrations over on that side of the world. And I decided against it because I saw that Kayleigh Macaroni was hosting on Fox and Friends.
this July, get this, the Congressional Research Service said this about
That's the CRS, that's the independent body.
that OSHA provision he used for his vaccine mandate. They said that this has rarely been used, this authority in the
Right.
past, and it's not been used since the courts
Hasn't been used since.
this struck down an asbestos similar related order in 1983. So
That's not that rare then. I remember 1980s. I was there. The best music, by the way. Take on me, take on me.
in other words, the last time this provision was used was 1983, and the court struck it down.
Those are not other words. So until now, I thought Trump was the only one that did the in other words, because he'll do things like, I have to be at the airport at 5 o'clock. In other words, I have to be at the airport at 5 o'clock. She just did that. I thought that Trump was the only human being stupid enough to not have any other words for explaining what they just said that everybody understands just fine. By the way, if you missed last night's broadcast, do check it out, because we covered Trump's interview on RSBN, and he explains in that interview why the White House is called the White House. Things I never knew. I'm going to start a podcast called Shit You Should Know. And let's go back and let's make sure that she's using some of the different words to explain, because I don't understand what she says in 1983, and it was struck down by the Supreme Court. So what are the other words for that?
Used this authority in the past, and it's not been used since the courts, get this, struck down an asbestos similar related order in 1983. So in other words, the last time this provision was used was 1983, and the court struck it down. So Biden has really exceeded his
Those are the same words. Those are exact same words.
authority.
There's so many other words. By the way, she doesn't know much about courts because she is hold on, let me look that up. Oh, she's a lawyer. She's a Harvard-trained lawyer. And she doesn't know another word for struck down.
And guys caused a lot of economic pain and
Yeah, Chris, you should watch it, but it's very similar to that. No one knew it was called the White House until I became president.
hardship in doing so, Lawrence.
You know, Kayleigh, I got to tell you, I continue
You don't have to tell her whatever it is you're about to tell her, but go ahead, Lawrence.
to be baffled.
I don't even know. He's always baffled, by the way. There's a lot of baffling happening in Lawrence's world. Guys, have me on. You want some ratings? You want some interest in the morning? Have me on. Make me one of the friends on Fox and Friends. I'll do it remotely. I'm not sitting next to you guys. I'm not sitting next to anybody right now. By the way, good news. South Africa is the caseload dropped with the Omicrons 30% last week. Week over week down 30%. It really does look like Omicron is making its way out in South Africa. They got hit early. They got hit hard. Apparently the disease came out of Botswana into South Africa, was first diagnosed, and that was just before Thanksgiving. So we're looking at about a 6-week run for the virus. Now, that being said, it will be here much longer because it will ping pong around. Remember, we're 50 different countries. So it hits different areas. So hopefully, it started getting bad here about the second week of December. Theoretically, end of January, we might be looking good. That being said, some of the areas that took a while to get it last time, South Dakota, Alaska, Hawaii, etc., they're already getting hammered. Marcy's out there in Hawaii. If you want to find out more information on Hawaii, check out Marcy's feed. Marcy is let me get your info up here, Marcy, so people can follow you if they already don't. Marcy is at GhostGirl1957 on Twitter. At GhostGirl1957. No hyphens, no dashes, no nothing. That's a hyphen. In other words, a dash. In other words, a dash. In other words, see, if it was Trump, he just would have said, and he put ghost hyphen girl. In other words, ghost hyphen girl. Good morning, Andy. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Not yet for you guys. You're close. Andy, what time is it there?
By the administration response to COVID, especially when you have the President of the United States just telling us days ago that he was against a federal response. Now, we know what the courts has been.
No. He never said he was against a federal response. He says there's no federal solution to this. It needs to be cooperation between state and local authorities and the federal government. That's what he said. He didn't say he was against a federal response. That's the stupidest thing anybody could say about the pandemic. Except that it's only a mild cold. Don't worry about it. By the way, just so you know, YouTube, if you're watching, I am fully for all of the mandates. Get yourself masked. Get yourself vaccinated. If you do become sick, report it in some places to your doctor. Yesterday I was telling people, look it up. A lot of health departments want to know if you test positive. And that's true. What I found out in Los Angeles, they don't actually want you to report it. They want you to call your doctor, and they want your doctor to report it. So just do a web search for your county.
Doing the entire time, the courts have been striking down all these federal mandates. They simply said that they...
No, they haven't. All of the courts up until now with this federal mandate, the reason it's gone to the Supreme Court is because they've upheld it. Some of them have struck it down in lower courts, depending on which district you're coming out of. So it makes its way up the chain, up the ladder of the court system until it gets to the highest federal court, which is the Supreme Court, and then their rule is ultimate. And sometimes they can toss it back down to the lower courts as well.
They just can't do it. They don't have the authority to do it. They've sided a little bit more when it comes to states and local governments, but on the federal level,
No, the states absolutely have the power to do whatever they want when it comes to health. Gibbons v. Ogden, 1828.
Have not been favorable to the Biden administration.
A lot of them have. That's why we're here. That's why it's going to the Supreme Court.
Bill Bennett.
God, I hope they maintain these mandates because it's just getting worse.
Well, our Fox News contributor, former education secretary, said he predicts that there's going to be a great relearning in response to the COVID response. Watch.
A great relearning in response to the COVID response? In other words...
This may be the educational...
Wait, Bill Bennett. Oh, Jesus, he was like education secretary under a Republican president in the 1800s. Bill Bennett. Now he's a Fox News contributor. He was the guy who basically said, like, oh, yeah, the government shouldn't be involved in education. What is your job? I'm the minister of educationing.
Shake-up we need. But I do think the great relearning is beginning. I think it's beginning in earnest.
The great relearning. Wow, if that's not Orwell, I don't know what is.
When you talk to people around the country, citizens...
The stupiding of America.
Those subjects are becoming citizens, to use your nice phrase there. I think you can see...
Oh, right now we're just subjects, people. We're just subjects. We need to become citizens. But right now we're just subjects because we're subjected to Fox and Fred. I don't know. I honestly...
sign of this, and people are tired of surrendering to the experts who have been so wrong.
People are tired of surrendering to the experts. And as we've learned from Fox News, the government's job is to make sure that people get stuff. We learned that yesterday.
Just one last thing. When the head of CDC says, well, we thought 10 days for lockup, would be proper, but we decided...
How this we're getting a lot of date spammer things. I don't even notice them. I just hold on. Let me get rid of that one. Let me pull up you guys. And yeah, well, I signed up for a bunch of Russian dating sites, looking for a bride for myself. It's part of my New Year's resolution. Looking for a Russian bride. And this is what happens, I guess. I gave them my YouTube address because I'm like, I'm a healthy male. This is what I look like. I can't actually stand, but other than that, fairly healthy. Check it out. And I guess these are just the ladies now coming in to check out my broadcast. Good morning, ladies. Or in your case, good evening. Slavik Deutschden. I don't know a lot of Russian. I'm not going to wake up JoJo and make her speak Russian to these people.
To go with 5 because we think that's all that the public could bear. Well, that ain't science. That's policy.
That ain't science.
Well, no, that's also science. Because after 5 days, your chance of being contaminated and contagious just plummet. And that's the problem, right? Is the whole time, the people, the scientists, they've been dealing with people as if they're rational. But you've got a goodly portion of the population that are idiots. And we're subjected to them.
That's policy. You know what it is? It's politics is what it is. And we don't...
No! It's trying to keep the economy still going and not frozen. Well, so what do we need? More rapid tests is what we need. And this should have been taken care of months ago. The ball has been dropped so many times by the federal government under both Biden and Trump, but objectively, Biden has done a 78,000% better job than Trump at handling the virus. They're actually taking it seriously. They're not downplaying it in any way, shape, or form, and has repeatedly said that he's against a federal plan. Stupid. Not the Biden plan. What Lawrence is saying.
Need bureaucrats making decisions that we elected politicians for. You know, Lawrence, you said you're baffled by this. I'm beyond baffled by it.
This guy's beyond baffled. I don't even know who's talking, but he's beyond baffled. Everything is so confusing for these people. Is it 10 days? Is it 5 days? Do you want us to triple mask? Do we wear a mask in a shower? I don't know what's going on.
President who got elected into office with this big pitch on coronavirus and how he was the savior. And we saw this week just how unprepared this administration is. I hope that, for the sake of this country, I hope they get their stuff together and start making forward-looking decisions.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. President Biden said it's...
I mean, I don't know how much more forward-looking you can get than we've got a plan and we're spending a bunch of money to make that plan happen and we're trying to communicate it to people and we'd like the people's cooperation so that we can do something about this pandemic. I don't know.
Time to shut down the virus. He promised us he'd do so, but it really feels...
And he said it was going to take a lot of time. A heck of a lot of time. That's a quote. That's verbatim.
Like COVID, in many ways has...
Should we watch that? Let me see if let's see if I've got it on my phone. Let me see if I can pull it up quickly. I bet I can. Hold on. Search Twitter. And if I go to myself, yeah, here it is right here. I'm literally the only person posting this video. But this is Biden. This is Biden talking about getting rid of the COVID. Yes, he said he was going to get rid of it. Yeah, he's going to shut it down. But, and this is of course, Fox and Friends Ducey, Peter Ducey asking the question.
What happened to 2 months ago when you were talking declaratively about I am going to shut down the virus?
Let's find out in a second. Deidre, I am Donbald, Don, DONBALD, _ on your keyboard. That'll be, what's the underscore? Next to the 0. If you shift and hit the next to the 0 to the right of the 0. I don't know if you're on your phone or whatever. Anyway, the underscore is the line at the bottom. Donbald _ Trump. And that's me.
Well, I'm going to shut down the virus, but I never said I'd do it in 2 months. I said it took a long time to get here.
Yep.
It's going to take a long time to beat it.
Yeah, it's going to take a long time to beat it.
And so we have millions of people out there who have the virus. We're just, for the first day, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I've been doing other things this morning, speaking with foreign leaders.
This is his first week in office, by the way.
But one of the things, I think this is one of the first days that the number has actually come down, the number of deaths, and the number on a daily basis, and the number of hospitalizations, et cetera. It's going to take time. It's going to take a heck of a lot of time.
It's going to take a heck of a lot of time, and that's what it's doing.
And we still have, as Dr. Fauci constantly points out, it's one thing when we have mass, how can I say it politely, mass disregard of the warnings about...
How can I say it politely? Mass idiocy.
Not wearing masks and wearing masks and and social distancing and failure to social distance and people getting together on holidays in ways that weren't recommended, etc. We see first thing.
We're right back at that, by the way. People are still getting together tonight on New Year's Eve as the country is literally on fire.
The thing that happens is we see the number of infections go up. Then you see the hospitalizations go up.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And then you see the deaths go up, he continued. And he was exactly right about that. I don't know why that's so befuddling.
Shut us
I should say baffling. They say baffling. They don't say befuddled.
down. It's very much unfortunate. All right, this is next. Hillary Clinton has a warning for her party. Stop the far left push.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's go ahead. Let's see who else was on here. We're just going to do a quick broadcast here. Let's see what she said. It's going to be something out of context, but let's find out. And then we'll wrap it up for the day, and we'll let you guys get your New Year's played. You can join us if you want for tonight's Friday night movie. It'll be 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we'll be watching. I want to watch Don't Look Up. If you got Netflix, you can join us. If you want to just join us for the chat as well, you can definitely do that. And we'll probably keep going, probably about till 9 o'clock, I think. And then some people will be celebrating New Year's on the East Coast. Maybe we'll watch that together. I don't know. But you're welcome to join us. If you want to join us, send me a DM, I guess. Or find somebody in the chat room and send a DM. Most of you already are either patrons or otherwise, and I'll be sending all that information out later.
Why she's already blaming progressives for possible midterm losses. And Betty White is just weeks away from her 100th birthday. Oh,
yes!
Don't you love her? She reveals her secret to a long...
If we can get Betty White to 100, I'll say together we have done a pretty good job. Good morning, Todd. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, see, this is what I'm getting. Cujo says, Don't Look Up was fantastic. Todd Stubler says, oh my God, Don't Look Up is not good. Sorry to ruin your plans. Yeah, I know. Maybe we won't do Don't Look Up. There's New Year's movies, right? If there's one of those Love Actuallys for New Year's, I forget which one it is. Maybe we'll just talk. Maybe we'll just watch New Year's around the planet. I don't know. I just know that people want to do a movie night. So maybe we'll do a classic. Maybe we'll do Sunset Boulevard. I don't know, but I am wary of Don't Look Up. Because, oh yeah, so Marcy's son didn't like it either. You know what? Die Hard. It's a good New Year's Eve movie. Isn't one of those Die Hards, isn't like Die Harder with a Vengeance? Isn't that New Year's or something? Oh, you know what a good New Year's movie is? Harry and Sally. But I know some of you have been watching that lately. Sleepless in Seattle? It's a possibility. Is that a New Year's? Is that... Don't they meet each other on the top of the Empire State Building on New Year? No, they meet each other on top of the Empire State Building. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know. Sunset Boulevard. Death to 2021 is on Netflix.
Happy life.
So anyway, we'll have a movie tonight. Now that I'm seeing people, again, reinforcing what I've seen a little bit from the media. Rolling Stone was like, Don't Look Up. More like, Don't Look at This. Or something. They hated it.
Exclusively to Fox News. We'll tell you what it is.
Got to stop the audio on that. Give me a second here, because we'll look it up. We'll find it. COVID. Let's see if Walgreens has any appointments for me. Yeah, the Walgreens site is not even working. How about in Pasadena? Can I get an appointment there? No. Just the website won't even function at this point. Let's see. Rotten Tomatoes. Am I spelling Rotten Tomatoes correctly? It's with an E. There we go. Rotten Tomatoes. Don't Look Up. Let's see what the Rotten Tomatoes say about it. Rotten Tomatoes, 55%. But the audience, 77% loves it. It means that Todd doesn't like it. He's in the... so that's not bad for an audience score. Maybe we'll watch it independently. Okay, so Chris Wilson, his kids liked Don't Look Up. His in-laws hated it. So it is a polarizing movie. I think that's where the missile hits, right at the pole. It's not about a missile. But it does have Leo. Let's watch the trailer. Or not. Let's not watch the trailer, apparently. Okay, now it's a commercial from Tally. We're not watching that. Let's go back to Betty White. I want to know more. Let's jump ahead. See. see what Fox and Friends has. They got to have a guest star coming in. I haven't even been looking at the corner of the screen to find out. Oh, who's this? Who's this? Here we go. Let's find out what this is.
To the students and how are they feeling on campus right now?
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Princeton bars students from leaving county? Let's find out what this is. Hold on.
Jersey will now welcome back to Fight to Flatten.
Okay, meet each other at the top of the Empire State Building. That's King Kong, says Time for Truth. And that is accurate. Judges agree. Oh, I think that's quiet. How many of you guys are in right now? Oh, there's just 2 of them in today. The rest of them are taking, and then some of them will cover tomorrow.
The curve becoming so extreme that Princeton University in New Jersey will now forbid students from leaving the school's county when the semester starts in January. The school already mandating the COVID-19 vaccine and the booster. So is this going too far?
Well, no, that's the opposite of going too far. It's saying stay close. Don't leave the county. I don't know what good that's going to do anybody. But yeah, these students are running all over the place, most of them asymptomatic, and they're spreading the disease. I don't know if it's to help other people or it's to help maintain things on campus. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Should students be allowed to leave the county in which they're getting their education? They're supposed to be smart people. This is Princeton. But then again, look at Harvard and the lawyers that they spit out. Todd Subro says, maybe we should just stay on your site and meet some Russian chicks. It's a good call. Tonight at 6 p.m. Das Badanya.
Ben is a student at Princeton University and a campus reform correspondent, and he joins me now.
And an iPhone user. I don't like them already.
Reed, thanks so much for joining the program. What are your initial thoughts on this? What is this going to do to the students, and how are they feeling on campus right now?
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I got to say, though, that Francis McDermott is just so versatile.
If I could sum it up in one word, I'd say that the policies are a little bit overkill. I mean, I get, us having to have the booster and such, but it doesn't make much sense to...
Debooster? The booster. Yeah.
Have them require us to get this booster only to go back to school and wear masks and social distance and continue to live like it's March 2020. I mean, the intentions are right.
In March 2020, we weren't wearing masks.
Right, but we're a healthy, young student body. Almost everyone is vaccinated. And I don't really know what they're trying to protect at this point other than their own type.
Well, people can be vaccinated and boosted and still get pretty sick with this. People can still die. It's very rare. And you guys, you won't. But it's the spreading of the disease, and there's almost everyone being vaccinated. That's not everyone. And there are those with immunocompromisation that they can't protect themselves. Their immune system can't battle this. And there are those with fantastic immune systems that immune systems literally kills them. It's called a cytokine storm. So what is your major, sir?
A reputation. And I think that this is a theme that you see consistently across college campuses, especially with what campus reform has been doing, where you see these illogical and inconsistent policies that just go against the facts.
Yeah, so I guess my second question would...
Well, see, by you saying, if I'm vaccinated, how come I have to wear a mask? That goes against the facts. Wearing the mask stops the spread of disease to others, in case you get it. And you might not even know it, my friend. Good. I hope this guy's life turns out okay. I wish I was a college student right now. Find myself a nice Russian bride.
Are students going to try to challenge this? I mean, do they have the right to tell you can't leave the county?
So I think that...
I mean, it's in the end user license agreement, so yeah.
One of the great things about the student body is that we're really advocates for ourselves. I'm a class senator, for example. I spent the last semester investigating basically what the university did in terms of disciplining kids over our COVID semesters last year. So I think what a lot of kids are scared about is not the restrictions, but the punishments that follow them if you violate them. Last year, the university hired private investigators to interrogate kids that were accused of violating our COVID policies. I think a lot of kids,
Okay, well university they hire private investigators all the time. What do you want them to get the cops involved? Because someone went to a party? This is standard protocol with universities. And
a lot of kids
and businesses too, by the way. That's what private investigators are. You don't want to, like, as the world's burning down and everyone's getting murdered. The cops are kind of busy, so you don't bother them with this. You hire a private investigator.
Kids are kind of sick of what they see as abuse by the school, and also sort of these notifications coming to them at like unspecified times. So I think kids are really kind
Libby is fully vaccinated and boosted, and she got very sick.
of fed up with it, and it's encouraging to see them standing up to challenge it.
You're exactly right, and they're mandates all over the place.
I like how objective the Fox and Friends are. Exactly right. The mandates are all over the place.
We got
Well, no, literally it's confined. One county. That's the opposite of all of it, but okay.
a picture of them on the wall right there when you can see mandate after mandate, and it doesn't seem like it's getting better. We reached out to Princeton, and this is the state.
Oh, we got a picture on the wall. Here we go. Princeton University COVID mandates. COVID-19 booster shot. Okay. Negative COVID test upon arrival. Smart. Limited travel outside of immediate area. Okay. Indoor mask mandate. Yeah, that's pretty standard. 20-person gathering limit in dorm rooms. That's way too many people. Oh my God. Why are they... Wait a few weeks. Gatherings in dorm rooms. My God, that's one hell of an orgy.
Statement that they released to us. Although all of us are exhausted and frustrated by the ongoing COVID pandemic, we must continue to do everything we can do to protect the health and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff.
Those monsters! How dare they try and protect the health and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff? Yeah. Okay. You know what? Good job, Princeton.
But is this really protecting anybody, Reed?
Yes. Yes. The Trump vaccine and masks and limited travel protect a lot of people. I know. It's baffling.
Well, I think that's a great question, and I would say it's not, because last
I would say you're wrong. You're definitely wrong there, kid.
year, Princeton University had a record high level of appointments made at our counseling and psychological services center. The mental health aspect of the student body is absolutely dismal.
Right, but they're still alive, and they're not killing anyone if they haven't got COVID. See, it's better to go to the doctor because you're anxious than it is to go to the doctor because you can't breathe. Or to go home and give to grandma and kill her. So better. It's not good. It's not great. But good for Princeton for providing those resources. That's fantastic. And you know what? It sucks. COVID sucks.
And I think that given these challenges, that to me is more tangible than anyone that had COVID at that school. I think our infection rate, even at the highest level, was 0.58%. So if we're looking at it from a health and well-being standpoint, it just seems a little bit hypocritical to enact these restrictions on us and then not really care about the well-being of the students in the aftermath.
It's such a great point. And
Well, no, they're providing counseling. You just said that. A record number of counselings. Is that English? A record number of appointments. Princeton is providing a record number of appointments for the students. Good job, Princeton. Well done.
And a point that a lot of people aren't making right now, these kids are perfectly healthy.
Chris Wilson has an excellent point. Does wearing sunscreen really help prevent skin cancer? We can't be sure. Because everybody who's gotten skin cancer is now dead. There's no way to ask them. No, they're not. That's satire, by the way, YouTube. Don't cancel me. Is smoking really dangerous? I don't think so, says Chris Wilson. I am not saying that. YouTube, go ahead and cancel Chris Wilson. I'm pretty sure he's not being satirical.
Healthy on the campus, but now they're being impacted by all these mandates mentally, and that is going to be the true story. We already have some data on it, but as this gets worse, it's going to...
Asses get worse? Asses do get worse over time. That's correct. One of the judges just... You know what? And he's eating KFC right now. That's why asses get worse, my friend. Yeah, age. It drags us down. Age and time always win. Always win.
Impact even more of those students. Reed, you've been out front on this, and we appreciate you joining the program, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, good luck.
Marcy says, I believe the khakis are assumed. They're chinos, Marcy. You cannot assume khakis.
Carly, I think you have some headlines for us.
The kid's fine. In many ways. I hope that all works out for him.
Right,
He's a school senator.
do, and we begin right here with this. The verdict in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
Okay, these are the headlines, and we'll watch the headlines. We'll watch the headlines. We'll get out of here. While you guys are watching the headlines, I'm going to just search, see if they have any interesting guests come up. I actually enjoyed that segment. That was stuff I didn't know.
Reportedly sends Prince Andrew's legal team into emergency talks. The Mirror reporting his team is seizing on any opportunity to discredit his accuser, Virginia Giuffre, as Nancy Grace says Maxwell may finally name names to reduce her sentence. Listen here.
I believe that all along she has been playing her cards very, very wisely. She didn't need to implicate other people, but this would be the time for her to start naming names.
Well, either way, experts warn the socialite's conviction will raise questions about how much Prince Andrew knew about his two friends, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. The husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi lays down the groundwork to bet millions on big companies. Public disclosure form showing Paul Pelosi purchased call options worth up to $2.5 million across Google's parent company Alphabet, Disney, and Salesforce this month alone. And one of those purchases coming just 2 days after Nancy Pelosi opposed a ban on lawmakers buying shares. Pelosi telling reporters, quote, "We're a free market economy. Lawmakers should be able to participate in that."
And that is exactly why I don't like Nancy Pelosi. Because of her and a lot of other lawmakers, they had to pass the Stock Act back in 2012. They were making millions on stock deals over companies and industries they regulated. That's a conflict of interest, and it should be stopped. And the Stock Act still had loopholes in it. And so it still happens. I'm sorry, but you would get natural term limits that way. If you said, fine, you can have stocks, but you're not. Nobody in your family is trading and buying stocks while you're in charge of what happens to those industries. It's terrible. I think Joe Concha's on here. And Joe Concha, this might be Joe Concha. It was a tiny little picture that I saw. Let's find out.
Acquittal, why the growing obsession with vigilante justice is an active threat to American society.
Wow. Lies, all of them, Joe.
Okay, Kyle Rittenhouse got away with murder, quite literally today. Not today, but this year. One of the worst stories of the year. You guys watched the trial. I was in and out of the trial. I didn't pay that close attention to it, and I fell for some of the media's narrative in terms of left-wing media, and there were a lot of facts out there that were not facts. But he got acquitted. So self-defense. It's a wacky thing. Jimmy Carter got rid of his peanut farm to become president.
We need some accountability here.
Absolutely. Look, the Rittenhouse trial encapsulated media malfeasance to the point an entire college course could be taught about it. Basic rules broken here, Kayla.
Is that Joe Concha?
Right? The defendant, guilty until proven innocent.
It's like the most... There's just something about Joe Concha that's so boring. But I don't even know if this is Joe Concha. And that's the thing, is I've seen Joe Concha, I don't know, 20 times, 50 times, 100 times. I would have no idea. In 5 minutes, I just might forget his name. He's just completely forgettable. I describe him as if you showed up at a party and then you like kind of peeked inside and you saw what was actually happening at the party and you're like, yeah, see you guys. You just maybe not even go inside. You just know it's not happening. Absentively, I'm going to let him get away with that because I'm fine with that. I say that. I mean, I don't remember ever me saying that, but me ever saying that. But sure, why not? Absentively, positively. That's fine.
I'm pretty sure.
Spice it up. Make the language. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. He's not making a mistake. He means to say that, and that's fine. A little creativity with the English language makes it beautiful. Let's see if it is Joe Concha.
Well, there was no shortage of liberal media misfires this year, so we thought we'd break down some of the media's biggest missteps of 2021. And there were a lot.
Is that
Here
Joe
to help
Concha?
us is Fox News contributor Joe Concha.
It is Joe Concha. Whenever I watch Joe Concha, he gets something fabulously wrong. Just like, and this is not Joe Concha. I was about to do Donald Trump. Yeah, and Donald Trump was in office for 18 years. What? Why?
Who better to walk us through some of these?
Anyone better than Joe Concha.
Joe, welcome.
You again. I just saw you yesterday on the 5. I can't get rid of you. Hoya.
I like that his tie is a tribute to Blockbuster Video. I enjoy that. Let's make me smaller so you guys can see that, because I'm so happy with that tie. UCLA, fight, fight, fight. Dun 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 dun.
Hoya, Saxa, that's right. Georgetown.
Fight.
For the viewers who don't know that. But anyway, Joe, so let's get to this first one. Perhaps the biggest media misstep of 2021 was the framing of Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's take a listen.
Oh, he killed 2 people.
Johnson, you have Rittenhouse, a white teenager who crossed state lines with an AR-15 style rifle, who came across...
He didn't, actually. The rifle was purchased for him illegally, by the way. It's fine. What are you going to do? The barrel of the rifle's a little too long to fall within the law. So, there were all sorts of things like that in it. It fell outside the lines. The secret of America is committing a crime before it becomes a crime. Everyone goes like, oh, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Well, it wasn't a law at the time, ex post facto. Thanks, Founding Fathers.
State lines with a firearm that he purchased illegally, driven by his mother.
The right celebrates the Rittenhouse.
Well, he was driven by his mother, and the firearm was purchased by someone else in a straw man purchase who was over 18.
Acquittal, why the growing obsession with vigilante justice is an active threat to American society.
That is true. Number one terrorist threat to the United States is domestic terrorism. And the FBI keeps saying that over and over and over again.
Wow.
And you do not want vigilantes like Kyle Rittenhouse running around the country.
You oppose.
Okay, here we
Showed
go.
up in Virginia and voted based on education and critical race theory, and they elected a Republican governor. Well, apparently it was all a figment of their imagination. Roll the tape.
Critical race theory, which isn't real.
You opposed critical race theory being taught in schools, which I should say is not part of Virginia's curriculum.
That is correct.
He has specifically targeted the issue of education. And what
I mean, you can go online to any Virginia school district and find their curriculum. CRT's not in there.
he calls critical race
And I have done that.
theory, even though it's not taught in Virginia schools.
What can I say, Kaylee?
Joe.
Media elites, like you played there in New York and Washington, they can claim all they like that CRT isn't being taught in Virginia schools or elsewhere. Parents in the Commonwealth, parents across this country, they knew better when watching that coverage. They saw the curriculums. They spoke.
No, you can see the curriculums. The CRT's not on there. In universities, sure. But they also teach Karl Marx in universities. That's when you open your mind and take a look at what the... Doesn't mean that you become a communist.
To their children. The teachers that were brave enough to defy their union bosses also spoke out. Critical race theory being shoved down students' throats, it completely flies in the face of the mantra of Dr. Martin Luther King. I'd much rather my kids learn more about him because he preached.
Yeah, they do teach Martin Luther King in the schools. That's part of the curriculum.
To judge others not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Right, dude, I'm a white guy too, and we cannot use that argument.
CRT does the exact opposite of that. Meanwhile, we're 25th in the world in writing, math, and science. Maybe we get back to that blocking and tackling instead of concentrating on race all the time. Fortunately, the Virginia government...
You had a really good metaphor going there. You really did. Instead of worrying about rainbow passes or whatever it is. Instead of worrying about button hooks on the 3-yard line. Come
Governor's race showed that parents have had enough, Kaylee.
Instead of worrying about concussions. No, actually, we do need to be concerned with concussions.
Oh, they've had enough, and the November 22 midterms will show
Roughing the passer. That's something we should be worried about.
the same. And then there's this one as well, Joe. So that pricey receipt
Yeah, I got to get going here soon, guys.
you have at the grocery store, that check that just shows how expensive your meal is at a restaurant, the gas prices. Here's what the media has to say about all that.
Yeah.
All right.
So the economy isn't bad. It's just that people are mad because
no, it's great.
Everything is late and things cost a little bit more.
One of the reasons prices are up is because people can afford to pay those prices.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, there's more demand now than ever for stuff. And it's the government's responsibility to do what? To get us stuff. That's the primary responsibility. We learned that yesterday. If you weren't watching, we did learn that yesterday. I can find it. I'm not going to.
Joe.
Fascinating.
Oh, no. Oh, no. The bananas are gone. Let's ignore all the other fruit. Are there bananas in the background? Are these organic bananas? Oh my God, those bananas are gone. You know how much the banana was? $10. 59 cents. 59 cents a pound for bananas. That's about the cheapest I pay for bananas in LA. That's a bargain for bananas. Now, if bananas were $10, then they'd have an argument here. But yeah, the bananas are 59 cents. Guess what people are buying? The bananas, because they're cheap and they're good and they're full of vitamin K, my friends. Who else wants to be full of vitamin K? Coincidentally, also my pickup line for the new year.
What can you say, Kaylee? It's fun when the richest 1% are telling you that...
Can I please share my Patreon link on here? I can sure give it a try. Hold on, let's see. I'm not even sure what my actual link is. Patreon.com. No, just go to kevinleefather.com. That'll take you right to my Patreon. Let me just make sure that still works here. Kevin Lee. Here we go. We'll do it together. Let's do this together. Here we go. KevinLeeFather.com. Let's see if it still is pointed where it's supposed to go. And yeah, there it is. So just KevinLeeFather.com. It'll take you right to my Patreon page. Let's close that. Nobody wants to see that.
Things aren't that bad. Meanwhile, you read poll after poll, 90% of the country says inflation is something they're deeply...
So they show a lot of, like, the paper towels are out, etc. I haven't had any problems finding paper towels since the beginning of the pandemic, but okay. When is that? It's from File. They don't have a date on when that picture was taken. And Fox has over and over and over again been showing pictures of the beginning of the pandemic with empty shelves.
Concerned with. That's 170 million people saying, boy, this is having a big impact. Not 170 million, I'm doing my math wrong. 320 million, yes. Right? Half say that inflation is directly causing hardship.
It's 330 million, but okay.
On its household, particularly in the low and middle class, right? Because they can't absorb all these price increases.
When are these pictures from? Fox?
When it comes to food and gas and heating their homes. And it's the usual disconnect between...
I like, what's his face? Mad Money. Kramer. Posted suboptimal. He posted a tweet of suboptimal where there was an empty section in a grocery store, and you could clearly see along the lines along these right here, it was a Valentine's section. They had just cleared the area for their seasonal sale of Valentine's candy. So yeah, the shelves were empty because they were about to stock them with Valentine's candy.
Eats in newsrooms and what people are feeling on the ground. Bottom line is, ABC News poll just out. 7 in 10 Americans disapprove of President Biden's handling of inflation. When you want to spend trillions.
Yeah, because there's a lot of inflation.
And you've already spent trillions this year already. That can do that. And look, you can soft pedal this all you like, but Americans simply are not buying it, Kaylee.
They are buying. They're doing more buying than the last time in 17 years. Retail sales over Christmas were fantastic, especially when compared to last year under Trump.
Oh, but Joe Biden and Ron Klain tell us it's transitory, so don't worry about that, Joe.
I mean, it is. I mean, by definition.
Right.
And you remember those border agents who were apparently whipping migrants? That just totally egregious lie from the media? Let's flash back to that.
Yeah, that was also a story that a lot of people fell for, including Kamala Harris.
All right.
We saw that image of at least one Border Patrol agent using a whip and was effectively trying to lasso some of the migrants. You see that picture?
You don't lasso people with a whip. This is just an idiot.
Sure, there.
As an image, to me, it does smack of a bygone era.
He's a bygone. We found out he was not a great guy.
Of slavery.
Chris Cuomo. Whoa, that's a flashback.
Wow, that feels like 80 years ago, seeing Chris Cuomo patronizing people on television.
I don't know why it feels like 80 years ago, but okay.
Yeah, look, it was a rush to judgment led by the President of the United States and those in his administration.
But corrected very quickly.
Biden owes those agents a public apology. I never really heard much about that investigation, by the way, while those agents were suspended. The media members that...
I mean, you could look it up.
...pushed this BS, they knew better, yet they went ahead...
You can file a Freedom of Information Act. You'll get all that I mean, it's not going to be classified.
And with that narrative anyway, now they have egg on their faces. Of course.
I want some eggs. It's breakfast time, people. I'm going to shut the broadcast down.
But apologies, as you know, it's just not in the DNA of many people in the...
Biden did apologize for that? I don't even know. Did he? Hold on. Let's look it up together, kids. This is where you can't get COVID tests. So let's see. Let's click here. Let's see. Walk-ins. Oh! I could drive down there. This is just north of Compton, so I could go get a walk-in test today if I wanted to. It's a little ways from me. It'd probably take me 25 minutes to get there. Not a big deal. Okay. Normally, I think that because of the New Year's holiday this weekend, there's just nothing available all over the place here. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. There's another place for walk-ins for me. But if I go like an hour out, there's all kinds of appointments. Next appointments, the trouble is those appointments are like a week away. If I have symptoms right now today, I'm done. Same thing with Rite Aid. When I looked on Rite Aid near me, the next appointment was the 7th. So we need to figure out a way to, I want to say update. That's not the right words. Automatically expand. Like when you got a web server and more traffic comes in on Amazon web server, it's dynamic web hosting. There's a word for something like that. I can't think of the word right now. Anyway, we need to figure out a way to get more testing when we need more testing. 5 eggs is a hell thing. I don't know. I'm not even sure what it is, but I know it's something to do with salt and pepper or whatever. What were we looking for? Yeah, okay. Biden apologizes. Biden, I can't type. Biden apologizes for whip. Biden condemns Border Patrol treatment. Biden says he would beat the hell out of Trump in high school. Border Patrol stunned as Biden goes to war with his agents. That's from Fox News. Who confronted Haitian. Calls their actions bad. Biden apology. In video, ex-VP vows to respect women's... Oh, that's way old. That's from 2019. Yeah, I don't know that he issued an apology.
This business, unfortunately. Kaylee, I got to know before we go, it's going to be 2022 soon. What is your resolution? Mine is to lose weight. The wife just said I look like I'm in my second trimester. Not good. Want to hear yours since weight obviously clearly is not an issue.
Not true. Well, mine is to be present. And when I have those rare moments off of work, to be present with my daughter and my husband. Not on
It's a good resolution.
my phone, put the device aside. So bring down the screen time. Joe,
You're going to be stopping with the whole Instagram videos every 5 minutes, right? With the giant filter.
I want to make this final point. Have you noticed a trend in everything we're walking through? That the ivermectin story that was such a lie, that Oklahomans were overdosing on ivermectin and pushing gunshot wound victims out of hospital. What was Oklahoma? Well, a Republican state. The 60 Minutes lie about Governor DeSantis. Well, what's Governor DeSantis? A Republican of a...
Where is Governor DeSantis, by the way? If you haven't been following, go on the Twitters and look up DeSantis. COVID records. Record cases in Florida, and DeSantis hasn't been seen, and he keeps posting pictures of him visiting places that are 2 weeks old. It's weird. He's probably just taking a vacation and just doesn't want to deal with things, and he has his media people putting up old pictures of him. But why are you sending proof of life posters or pictures where you're holding up a newspaper from 1948?
Successful state, the state of Florida.
Libby, that's a great resolution. A resolution for Libby is to pet more dogs.
All the lies tend to go in one direction, and that's against the right and against Republicans. So
Is this about Harry
anyway,
Styles?
Joe, thanks so much for...
Okay, that's the end of it. Happy New Year, everybody. I got to get this place ready for someone to come and look at and give me the coronaviruses. So I got to make a testing appointment for after that. Let's see, 3 days from now. I'll figure it all out, guys. If you're interested in joining us for Friday Night Movies, I don't know what movie we're going to watch now, but Todd Stubler's kind of put a kibosh on everything. So, for the record, be good to yourself. Be good to others. Happy New Year. And it was Todd that ruined 2022.